This is Pleasant Hill. Incorporated in 1961, it has a population of 33,817 people. It has 2 fire stations, 11 public schools, 6 parks, and me. Living here from ages 14 to 17 and again at 20 until now, I couldn't think of a better place to do a city review. Let's start with presentation. Downtown Pleasant Hill is nice. It consists of 2 blocks, one of which is a crescent, and when you enter, you pass under a neat little sign that says Pleasant Hill on it. However, the only real visual attraction of downtown Pleasant Hill is Town Hall. Now, to be fair, Town Hall is a pretty cool area. But, overall, Pleasant Hill is warm, but not super interesting. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Bang!
Next, let's talk about walkability. Because of its small size and interior-facing storefronts, downtown Pleasant Hill is actually quite walkable. And it gets bonus points with Pleasant Hill Park just being 2 blocks away via a walk through Town Hall. I only have to dock points for the street cutting downtown in half. We'll talk more about that later. 9 out of 10. Now, bikeability is kind of hard to quantify here, because the part of Pleasant Hill I'm considering downtown is really small. What I can say is the speed limit downtown is 25 miles per hour, and while there are any bike lanes, they do indicate that bikes can be on the road, so I'm just going to give this one a 5 out of 10. Public transportation. Now, we are in the Bay Area, so this rating is already going to get a boost because there are multiple BART stations pretty close by. On top of that, there are also a ton of bus stops near downtown. With Route 18, 9, and 16 passing through, this is how far you can get without even transferring. With prices like these, weekend buses, and a decent amount of stops in the area, I'm going to give public transportation a 10 out of 10. What can you do in downtown Pleasant Hill with infinite money? Downtown Pleasant Hill consists of more restaurants than you can imagine, a movie theater, Pilates, a dentist, a bank, a cryotherapy place, and a few other things. And while I've enjoyed the food from many of these restaurants and seen many a movie at Century 16, a downtown should be more than a ton of restaurants, a theater, and some general health services. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. To put it simply, downtown Pleasant Hill doesn't really have anything you can do for free. There are these cool rock fountains that you're not allowed to climb, and some seating areas, but really you're going to need to leave downtown to the park or town hall to find anything that is both fun and free. But because of the close nature of the park and the pond that's in town hall, I'll bump it to a 4 out of 10. I have mixed feelings about the parking layout of downtown. On the one hand, there is a parking garage on the corner over here, and there's tons of parking out of the way behind the buildings on the crescent. But, on the other hand, there are spots right in the middle of the crescent too, creating a huge divide in downtown and providing the stink, sound, and risk of having cars right next to you at all times. 7 out of 10. There isn't any anti-homeless architecture from what I've seen. The city of Pleasant Hill is also home to Hope Solutions, a nonprofit organization focused on housing the impoverished and the homeless. If I'm getting this right, Pleasant Hill should house 300 to 400 homeless individuals every year, which is actually fantastic for such a small town. 10 out of 10. The only real greens you'll see in downtown are the sad isolated ones you see in a lot of cities. You know, the ones surrounded by concrete. The grass over in Town Hall gives it a boost, but beyond that, Pleasant Hill is looking a little ungreen. 4 out of 10. Okay, it's a bit more than just trees and cutouts, but really I think this is an easy way to sort of disguise how lonely these trees are. So I still think they could do a lot better, but they are not just trees on their own. They've got little plants around them.
I give it a 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna do that again.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide between 4 and 5. I'll do 4.5.
Okay. No, you can't do that.
I can't do that?
No points.
I give it a 5 out of 10 because they have the matcha and the greenery now that they've added it. But where are the bike racks? I mean, they're using the trees. Do you see a bike rack in sight? Behind me was once a Sweet Tomatoes, and now they just sell beer. I don't really want beer. I want Sweet Tomatoes.
I've lived a few places now. Pleasant Hill's definitely not the worst I've seen. I do think there are a few changes that could be made to make it just a fantastic downtown. I think something that can be improved on is just the things to do in downtown Pleasant Hill, because there are just so many restaurants in downtown, and at the end of the day, really, if you just have restaurants downtown, and there's a movie theater too, the only reason people are going to be coming downtown is to, eat food, see a movie, get dessert, and then leave. And to me, that's sort of missed potential. I think you could have a lot of different businesses there that can bring people there at all times of day for all sorts of reasons. But I do understand that entrepreneurs need to make that step first, and I don't know what's happening behind the scenes with the government of Pleasant Hill. Maybe there just aren't any businesses willing to open up here that would make downtown more of an experience. But if it is the case that they are rejecting businesses that aren't restaurants or the here and there, like vitamin shops, fitness places, stuff like that, if they're declining people, then they need to stop doing that. But again, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But I think my second, more straightforward issue is the fact that that big road downtown is really just cutting off what could be a really interactive downtown. I think having to cross the street while you're downtown is not something that you should have to do, especially when your downtown is only 1 block. And they have all that parking that I showed you guys, the parking garage, the parking behind the buildings in downtown. So really having that parking in the middle of everything feels kind of silly. And what I would do is probably just take out all the parking spots at least and do something with that space so that there's something to do that isn't paid. I know there's City Hall, but that's a walk away. So it's sort of like you go to downtown, do your thing, and then you go to City Hall and then maybe Pleasant Hill Park. But I think there should be something in the middle there. What I envision is, rip up all the concrete, maybe plant some trees, have some more seating areas, like benches, almost turn it into a little park just downtown. Maybe put a playground for the kids, or anything else, and sort of just take out cars, because you don't need cars there. People can walk a block to downtown. They don't need to park right there and walk 4 steps to, a restaurant. So yeah, I think it could be deeply improved just by taking out the parking there, and suddenly you have a very cohesive downtown versus right now where they're sort of on the cusp of that. But anyways, this is our total score. Thank you so much to our guest reviewer. I've been thinking about making something like this forever, so I'm so glad I'm finally getting this out. Hopefully I'll do more in the future. We'll see how motivated I am. But yeah, let me know if you disagree with anything I said. If you have any format suggestions, I'm still working everything out. And any other improvements that you think could be made in this downtown, I'd love to hear it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.